Morning, YouTube. I just wanted to follow up and do another how to grow sugarcane video. This is, well, I should say more specifically how, not another, but a different video on sugarcane. I did how to plant sugarcane cuttings. So here we have kind of how to care for it after we get it going. Two products that I should mention you could use, or you could put in the hole even when you're planting the cutting, is steer manure, see it right here, and mill organite. Mill organite is a biosolid product. They're both available at Home Depot now, so that's awesome. You know, you can basically get it anywhere in the country. And then water your sugarcane regularly. This is, you know, obviously important for young plants, and I use this pot right here to kind of not disturb the soil, but that's something that's really important. What else? Oh, I also weeded this area, something that was needing to be done. I was gonna make this a short, but I think I'm just gonna make a long video out of this because I've got so many things to talk about. You know, just kind of doing this YouTube stuff. It's like, man, this really is like a passion of mine. So, and I love sharing the information. So I'm gonna turn the camera around so you can see this plant right here. I weeded everything except for this plant right here, and this is a legume. That legume fixes nitrogen, as well as clover. And what that means, fixing nitrogen, is it's kind of complex and nerdy, but I'm going to get into it for those who want to hear about it. The nodules, the root nodules on leguminous plants, they harbor a nitrogen fixing bacteria that inhales nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen in the air, and it converts it into plant available nitrogen in the soil. So what that means is it's basically nature's nitrogen cycle. It's the process of cycling nitrogen from the air into the soil, and then when plants break down and decay, they can off-gas that nitrogen back into the air. Lightning also will store nitrogen back into the soil when it strikes the ground. Pretty interesting, but yeah. I wanted to make this video because I'm giving away a lot of sugarcane right now. That's kind of how I'm doing my marketing at the farmers markets, is I'll take sugarcane cuttings. I posted in the last video about how I bought 10 bundles of sugarcane. I cut them up into small pieces, and I have this little QR code they can scan, and you know, maybe that's why you're watching this video now. Maybe that's how you found the page. They can scan the QR code and figure out how to plant it and how to care for it. So that's this video. The main reason for this video. A couple other things I wanted to talk about is yesterday I was talking about this banana over here and how I said it was a grass. And you know, I thought to myself, I've been told that, and at least I thought I was told that in those specific words. I know that the topic has come up with a couple individuals, and individuals that I trust, and sometimes I just take their word for it. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's trustworthy, I'm going to believe what he says. And turns out that what I said yesterday wasn't entirely correct. They're actually closely related. So they're not in the grass family. If you want to get into plant taxonomy, which a very low percentage of the population wants to get into, that's a whole different conversation. So yeah, long story short, they're closely related. They're not in the same family, but they have a lot of similar characteristics. They've got a parallel vein that runs right down the middle. Most grasses have that. They've got grasses will have a hollow stem. This basically has a hollow stem. If you I guess technically, I mean, if you look inside here, there's not much airspace. This is a little banana plant that it was planted in the sun, but with the winter, I kind of talked about how the sun went down and it's not getting sunlight anymore. But yeah, this guy right here is hollow. more or less. It's pretty tightly bound or wound up in there, but yeah, so I wanted to clear that up. Also, I don't think this is a monkey face tree over here. I've been wondering what this thing is for a long time. I just haven't used ChatGPT to figure out exactly what it is. It couldn't even figure it out. I took a leaf sample yesterday, so I said I haven't used it. I haven't used it appropriately. I need to take a picture of the bark. Plant ID is kind of crazy. They can, a lot of people can just look at the bark of a tree and without even looking at the leaves, let's just say like in the wintertime when a tree loses all of its leaves, they can look at the bark of the trunk of the tree and tell you what tree it is. Like, that's crazy. There's a few plants I can do that are obvious, like a coral bark Japanese maple, or maybe like a manzanita. Those are red barked trees. Or yeah, in case of manzanita, technically a shrub, or a bush. But yeah, there's people that geek out on plant ID, and like me, I find it interesting, but it's just not something that I'm super find it interesting enough. I'm not super interested in it. So yeah, what else? Was there anything else? I don't think so. Oh, last thing. I kind of touched on it a little yesterday. Watering. So, my last boss, Charlie Malone, he taught me an important lesson on watering. He was actually teaching someone else, but I was listening. And he turns the hose on full blast. And some people will use like water breakers or nozzles that soften the water so the soil doesn't get eroded. Because if I put this hose straight into the ground, it's going to dig a hole with the water on full blast, especially in the sandy soil that we have in Florida. But what he does is he just takes that hose on full blast right there, and he kind of puts his finger on it like that so it makes a little half mushroom. And he just waters his plants like that, especially when they're new. And we were on a huge job in a very nice neighborhood, and we had thousands of, I believe it was Asiatic jasmine, one of my favorite ground cover plants when you're trying to suppress weeds. It's not edible, but again, Andrew Burkett Fruit Farm sells it, and because he sold it, and then my first customer here in Florida was talking about how he liked that plant, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna plant this plant because it's kind of a plant that you can't really replace with an edible plant. There's plants that are similar, like ground cover rosemary, and things like that. Anyways, that's who taught me this, Charlie Malone. You can really cover your plants a lot faster when you're irrigating by hand, which I like. There's pros to doing drip irrigation, timer systems. You don't have to go outside. Me personally, I'm out here every morning basically for about 15 to 30 minutes. That's kind of the amount of time that I recommend to people to spend outside. I don't know if maybe you have a dog and you need to take care of your dog in the morning for whatever they're doing. And I'll let you use your imagination on what I mean by that. Yeah, you want to come outside and check out what's going on with your plants. Water them. I water my plants like every 3 days or something like that, depending on how much rain we're getting, because Florida gets a lot of rain. But yeah, so anyways, little tips and tricks that I learned. One of the most valuable tricks I've learned is how to water correctly. Just simple old-fashioned hose, no fancy watering system. Just put your finger a little bit away from the brass piece, and it really makes quick work of watering. So yeah, I think that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.